Welcome to today's interview. Today I have two amazing dancers, Michal and Jowita, who just won the greatest dancer show in UK.
Guys, you are the greatest dancers, can you believe it?
And the subject of today's interview is really to have a closer look whether dance technique, a good dance technique, is enough. Is it all that is required to succeed in our today's dance world? So just a quick information about Michal and Jowita. So Michal and Jowita have been participating in some of my mindset workshops, and they have been applying some of the mindset advanced techniques. So I'm really interested to hear about their experience from the greatest dancer show and whether they apply any of those techniques, and if so, how did that work out for them? So, hello Michal and Jowita.
Hello everyone.
It's great having you here today. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you for an amazing performances and of course winning the show. And the first question I have is, I know that you had a quite tough competitors and you maybe haven't been in the easiest position being a ballroom dancers, and we know ballroom dancing is already very popular in UK, a lot of different shows. So we would think that maybe, you know, the judges, the audience would like to see maybe some other dance styles to win. So can you maybe tell more about that?
Yeah, so basically when we joined the competition, it was really hard because we were the only couple from ballroom and Latin dance. So when we got to the auditions and we saw all those amazing people, like all those amazing dancers, we were scared. We were very scared because we can't do things which they can. And for us, sometimes our ballroom and Latin is not enough spectacular and not enough like crazy and like wow. So we were actually very scared that how we gonna be understand how we're gonna be taken by the people, by the British audience, because as you said, they know ballroom dancing, they already saw a lot of ballroom dancing, they have Strictly Come Dancing, they have shows on West End, and they have tours. So it's really hard to surprise them with ballroom and Latin right now.
And you can't even compare ballroom to different style of dancing
course.
Because those people were doing amazing flips, amazing
Splits
in the air. That was so spectacular. And when we saw them on the audition and doing our like journey, that was like, okay, that's competition gonna be really tough for us, because I don't know if the British audience will appreciate our work. But we were like, all right, don't think about this, focus and keep going.
Okay, that's really interesting because when we will dive in deeper in a moment, we're gonna find out what have you done then to be able to beat those dancers, because like you said, you couldn't do that definitely with some, you know, tricks and flips and acrobatics. You didn't have that as a ballroom dancer, certainly not at that level. So that's gonna be really, really interesting. So the first question on my mind is, can you win the greatest dancer show with dance technique alone?
No. Unfortunately, no. And this is really tricky one because every dancer is training really hard to get the best technique. And like us, like I'm very like hardworking about like technique and very particular. Like I always want to be the best. But it's not about it, and unfortunately to be the greatest dancer you need to have more and more, not only the technique, because technique is something that you can learn, but this special thing, that this X factor which you have, this is something you have or you don't have. So you can try to create it, but I think it's the hardest thing to get. It's not that easy as a technique, because technique you can practice one turn over and over and over. But if you don't have this
special magic X factor,
yeah,
I think you will be not in the good way to succeed.
Yeah.
So, since dance technique is not enough, let's dive in now and see closely what is required, in your opinion and in your own experience, beside a great dance technique. Because let's face it, to perform, to dance at such a high level, you need a great technique already. But what is this X factor? What are those other extra aspects, elements you need to bring to your dance performance? You need to bring it to the stage to be able to achieve that high level of success.
I think that personality is like the first point of our of everyone performance, but also I think you have to believe in yourself. This is really, really important, because if you are not believing in what are you doing and what you want to achieve, that's not gonna happen. So
The simple rule, like we've learned from you actually, that if you don't believe what you're doing, nobody will believe it. Because if you're not confident enough to show what you want to show, people will never get this. Like if you're not clear, no one will understand you. So you need to be very clear what you want to show, and also you need to be very this is hard thing with the confidence, because I think dancers are not confident enough. Everyone thinks like, oh, I should do it better, oh, I could be better, oh, I should spin faster, and that's my biggest problem, because I always want to be perfect, and every
not
time
my problem.
that's not my biggest problem. But this is really like hard for me to just switch myself and tell myself, no, Jowita, you did great, no matter what happened. And many times during the live show, things weren't great, things weren't going right.
But no
one saw this. Like in semi-final, I caught my heel in a dress. So literally, I could just give up and I could be like, that's it, that's the end of my performance. My heel is in the dress, I can't get it out, and done. But no, you just need to keep going. You need to be like, doesn't matter, okay, oh, my heel is in my dress, that's fine, let's do something about it, let's make it fun, let's make it work.
Yeah.
And I think this is the very important thing, that you need to be very confident about yourself, and you need to be very positive no matter what's happening on stage. And we talk with another people in the competition, and they were always like stressed to go in,
because there's so many things going on the live show.
Yeah.
On stage is very, very slippery, because it's not proper.
It's like a glass.
It's like a glass which we were dancing. So for us was like really, really hard, because it was slippery. Then in the studio is really, really cold, because it's huge venue and the door is almost open, because the crew
and a
is
lot of
bringing
people inside,
yeah.
so they need to maintain like the proper airflow. The second thing, the room when we were in final 12, it was so hot, like literally you couldn't breathe there. So everything is like just working against you, and you know that somebody will leave the show tonight, and the pressure, and everyone is just so nervous. But what helped us a lot is just like
it's
switch
just
off,
mind, yeah.
and don't be nervous. You don't need to be nervous. Nothing bad is happening. We're enjoying the time, and we should be happy. So even we try to take people with us, to make them more positive, but it's really hard, because they don't realize how powerful is our mind, and how we can switch ourselves to be more positive, more relaxed. Just go on stage, enjoy, not having that tension. Like on the competition, we had the same problem. We were always like so nervous and like.
But we didn't know the technique then.
Yeah, but right now.
So that's why we were not successful.
Yeah,
maybe before.
that time. But it's really hard, and people, like when I look at them now, I understand that everyone is saying yeah, you need to like the secret, this book, and you need to be positive, you need to think positive, but it's not easy. It's not easy because
It's obvious, but you have to work on it.
it's really hard to actually to get that feeling inside of you and to be like, okay, I'm fine.
Okay, so you said that really you needed personality, you needed to bring that personality on stage. You said that you needed to build up your confidence and stay positive. And then you also said that a certain mental strength is required because you had, like you just listed, many things not in your favor, many things that were disturbing you, right? Like this temperature or bad floor, or probably other dancers around you freaking out. And you know, like so easy to catch this negative or stress energy. So let's dive into some of those aspects. Maybe before we dive in, I'll ask you another question because you also said something very interesting. You just refer like to your sort of, dance past where you were still competing, right? You were participating in dance competition in Latin American dancing, and you said, oh, we didn't do really well because of that, right? So my question is, when did you first realize how important that mindset is? When was the first time you were like, okay, we probably need to do something else beside dance technique to be able to bring, our full potential on the dance floor?
Well, when we finally met you first time.
It wasn't that easy that time because when we started that journey with you, we were like, okay, we're in, but I think we didn't understand this that much, because it was new. We wanted to do it, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone who thinks that, oh, I will just think one positive thought and everything will go away. No, it's not that easy. So it needs time. I think the first time when I realized like how important it is, it was, I think, just before our last like championships, when we weren't like very good position. We were like 10th or 9th.
No, it was semi-final before.
Semi-final, but I remember that after the competition, when I've asked, okay, what went wrong? What was like not good enough? I've heard that my dress wasn't good enough, and I was like, what? My dress wasn't good enough? Like, come on.
I need faster shoes.
And and then when we actually went to see our friends dancing on stage, because that was the moment we were so angry and we were so upset with dancing. Basically, we just were like, like if you hear like you're not getting in the final because your dress wasn't good enough, that was like
the final point.
The night. So then we saw our friends dancing on stage, and then we saw like how they can actually enjoy dancing, and then how they can live, and and of course earn money, because come on, like we need money to survive. So they were having everything what we actually wanted, and then I understood that everything what we've done till now, we were like doing sacrifices, training hard, but where was that joy? Where was actually the purpose of all of that? So that was the moment when I understood that, okay, whatever Hubert and Magda was telling, like they tried to tell us, I understand it now, because before I was doing this, but it still wasn't in my mind. I still didn't understand all these purposes to use that technique, to use everything, like all this information to actually enjoy my dancing. It was,
and it's like key to be successful, because like every dancer is working hard, have a lot of lessons, a lot of they spend a lot of time on the rehearsal, but the key to be successful is here.
And then we joined Burn the Floor. We were cruising with them for 4 years. So we were working on the ship. And I think that was the moment when I understood that, okay, like the techniques, I need them, because we were on the ship. The ship is moving. Sometimes it's moving less, sometimes it's moving more. Do I have any like influence of that? No, it's just moving. I can't do nothing about it. So I can be frustrated and I can be on stage upset because I can't dance properly because of the condition, or I can just move on and be like accepting the conditions. Okay, I'm on the ship, it's moving, it's alright. Well, I'll be not perfect in my technique. I will not point my feet properly because I need to catch the floor because it's moving. But still, like, I'm gonna fight it or I'm gonna join it and go with the flow. So I think the ship made us actually understand this more. So instead of being upset with the conditions and like on the competition when we were like, okay, I don't know, the time, the schedule is wrong, like the floor is slippery, too many couples on the floor, blah 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 blah, and we can be upset, or we can just, alright, it is what it is, we can make it work. So I think the ship actually
Also,
made us
we have
understand
learned a
this
lot.
more. And right now, when we joined the Greatest Dancer, for us was so easy because it was like
because
that.
I think we were ready for this
We
competition.
were so ready.
Because
yeah.
from the competition we jump to the show, and then we jump again to the competition, which I didn't want to like be again like.
But you didn't feel it like a competition.
Because we were ready for it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And that's
like a
why we
competition.
won, because I was not thinking that this is the competition.
No.
Yes, that sounds very interesting. As I listen to your story about the ship and everything and these external conditions, what comes to my mind is that before you were sort of isolated on the ship, you were under the influence of what everybody else is doing. Like you said, everybody's having lessons, sort of, doing workshops, and then being really affected by the external conditions. Like, those judges are not in my favor, the floor was too slippery, or my partner forgot choreography, things like that, right? But yes, okay, pointing at Michael. It's like not pointing at anybody, not calling any names. Yes, but then, as I understand, your biggest breakthrough was when you realized that it's not really about the external environment. That sort of external environment is just a result of what's in your mind. And then you, being on the ship, you were like isolated from all of that. And then you had time, obviously, to think and then to start your internal work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does make sense, a lot of sense. Yes. You know what? Currently, as we're recording this interview, we have the coronavirus situation in the world, where not only the whole world stopped, but all the dance world stopped as well. Like, all the dancers canceled shows, canceled trainings, practices, workshops, competitions. Even TV shows have been canceled. We have the very first time situation like that in our dance world, where dancers are forced to stay home and not being able to train properly. Of course, we can do things at home, yes. We always do that. If you are a true dancer, you always practice in your living room, or you do moves as you're brushing your teeth, we know that. But you are not able to do a proper training full on. So now it's like, it's strange, but it seems like the whole dance world has been captured, like you've been captured on the ship. And now it's time to really do some deeper thinking and, maybe evaluating what have you done in the past, and just, do some logical thinking. What I have been doing, is it bringing me the results, the outcome I want? If not, then one of the biggest dancers fan, Albert Einstein, and why do I say Albert Einstein was a big fan of dancers? because he said dancers are athletes of God. So it's like, when the guy says that, obviously a big fan. So Albert Einstein said basically the definition of insanity is keep doing same things and expect different results. So, I think this is the message to the dancers watching this interview. If you haven't been getting the results that you want, meaning, dance competition results or even the level of your dancing and the level of your skills, if you haven't been getting that, then maybe it's time to think that you maybe have to change what you are doing, to maybe add something or remove something or just change. So I think it's a perfect timing for everybody to really, have that opportunity that you had, being isolated, being in the middle of the sea, and then, having probably many, many hours between the shows to think about what you want from your dancing, what you want your future to look like and stuff like that.
But you said very important thing, because you have to know what you want.
Yeah.
This is what we learned from you,
Yeah.
that a lot of dancers doesn't have clear goal. They do something, but they don't know actually where they are going. They're taking lessons, they're improving.
But it was us as well.
It was us as well. But if you have like completely clear goal, like in our situation, we said we want to win the greatest dancer. How are we gonna do it? We don't know. Is it crazy goal? It's crazy goal.
Even before we were on the ship, and then we said, okay, this will be our last contract on the ship. We deciding that, and I need to tell, it's very addictive. Like being on the ship, you can be there and be there and be there, because it's really great opportunity for you.
And it's comfort zone. You are like in beautiful places in the world.
So to stop is really hard, actually. It's really hard and tough decision. But we made that decision. We said, okay, Michael, this is the last one. Then after that, we moving to London, and we will see. We know that we want to be here, and we want to do the shows, we want to work on Western, and we want to work on television. How are we gonna do this? We don't know still, but we're gonna do it. And then we did everything what we've planned. So we did the last contract. We saved the amount of money which we wanted to save, so we could come to London without any troubles. We came to London. We rent the apartment which we actually imagined. Like we wanted the same apartment like we were living in Warsaw, and it's basically almost the same. Then we got TV, so everything was going like we wanted. But because we really wanted this, we were thinking about it every day. We on our laptops, we had on desktop the pictures of London, the pictures of the apartment, the picture of the TV. So everything was in our mind all the time. So when we came here, it was just like the opportunity were coming, like, I don't know, like gifts on Christmas. And we're like, okay, thank you, I'll take that. Okay.
Because before we everything planned that this gonna be like this. We don't know how we're gonna do it.
But we will do it. And I don't know why, but the universe, they listened to us, and actually we could done different things, but because we really wanted this one, everything was going like, no, you're not going into that train, no, you wait for another one, because we almost
this
did
was funny
completely
situation.
different thing, because we almost went to tour, so we will be not here, but actually somehow the things went right like that, and we are here, and we won the greatest dancer, which I couldn't believe that we won, because like we really wanted that, but we also knew that there's a lot of great dancers. And
but from the beginning on this competition, we set the goal. I made this just after even before the first audition to the greatest dancer. And I said, okay, this is gonna be ours. And I was watching this every day.
Yeah.
This was with us in our flat. This was also on my phone.
Yeah.
This was on my computer and on my
Everywhere.
iPad. It's still on my iPad. If I'm gonna show you,
Yeah.
it's still
We
here.
need to change it. Another one.
So
Yeah, but because we believed we can do it, and actually we didn't treat this like a competition. We
Yeah.
were just doing whatever we love to do, and we were preparing. Okay, we were working hard for that, and that's no doubt. But
yeah.
every time when we performed, we felt so much joy and happiness. Like I've never felt nervous on that stage, which is incredible because I'm the first one to be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know, like my hair is not done, my costume is not done, everything is not done. But this time I was like, okay, whatever, okay, I will lose my extensions, and what? Come on, like, live, people know I can lose my extensions, that's fine. So, yeah, there was no nerves, no negative energy. That's why I think we went so far, that's why we won.
No, because we also dream this. If you can dream it, you can do it. I'm keep repeating
Yeah.
this, but this is actually true. If you can imagine your goal, you going to this goal, and one day you're achieving this goal.
Yeah, this is very inspiring, amazing story. So, like you said before, you didn't understand how this, law of attraction works, or how this power of the mind in action, right? You sort of understood the general concept. So let me just, sort of clarify for dancers who are watching here, right? So what basically drives us forward is our clarity of the vision. Okay, so that's something. I mean, if you sit down in the car and you don't put in your navigation where you're going, it's like you can be driving around for days and hours. You need to clearly define where you're going. So, and I just want to ask you one thing, and just give me a quick answer, just a short answer. Just want to continue with that sort of with my thoughts. You said that you had an absolute clarity, right? But this is what I find. Many dancers that I, start working with, talk to, and I ask them, do you have a clear goal? Most of them say yes. But then once I dig deeper and start asking some questions, it's like, so can you tell me, because you said that before you really crystallized that, did you also have that feeling like when you were, let's say in your competing years, when you were still competing, Latin American dancing, did you also think at that time that you had clarity what you want?
No.
Like we had this
but
goal, but there was not
you know how
clear,
it is.
like-
It's just like I think everyone wants to be the champion.
Yeah, but
But-
that was not that
But
clear.
champion of what?
Are you
Like-
really want to be, I don't know, Polish champion, I don't know, English champion, like, do you really want to do it? Yes. And this is not enough.
What we knew from the beginning, what we want to do for sure was TV. So it wasn't the goal, like it's with dancing, but it wasn't to be a champion. I think because when you're in this competition world, everyone wants from you to be the best, to be the champion. But actually I think you need to be very honest with yourself, what you really want from dancing, because not everyone will be the champion. The champion can be just one couple, yeah?
Yeah.
The world champion, okay, you can be European champion, world champion, Polish champion, like the
Italian
city champion, whatever. But it's not for everyone, and you need to understand that the champion is only one. So if you really want to be that champion, or you want something different from dancing, because like us, the thing is that we've never wanted to be a champions. We never wanted that. What we wanted to be on stage actually. We wanted to be on telly. We wanted to bring people joy, and we wanted to be watched. We wanted to be somewhere when we are dancing, people are enjoying us and watching. Because right now, sometimes on the competition, you go there and there's no public at all. And
I love
that's
public.
sad. And that's
Jowita love
sad
public.
because I don't like what we understood, the dancing which we are dancing just to get the mark or something, it doesn't bring us joy. And we understood that after a time, because when we were competing, it was like our life. It was what we were
But
doing.
everyone is different. Everyone
That's
wants
why.
different.
That's why you need to understand what you really want. If you really want to compete, because some people love to compete, and that's okay. Just you need to know what you want to do. Because we were lost. We found now what we want to do, and we push into that way. That's why we're going with the wind, with the flow. But because we get the clarified, like our situation, what we want to do. Some of the people, because they are confused and they have like, okay, I want to be a champion, but that's
not enough.
that's not enough. So I think
Just to let you know, Hubert wants short.
Yes.
yeah.
On BBC because when we were having like small interviews before our performance, they were like, Jowita, please, we need just short answer.
Yeah. I just got
Short.
okay.
So, okay, going back to my thoughts. So, like, on one hand, you need that clear vision of what you want, but you really need to clarify that. Like you said, just, I want to win that championship, I want to be in Blackpool final. That's definitely not enough. You need to clarify what are you going to bring with the dancing? What are you bringing to the floor to become that champion? And then how are you going to bring those all things? Like how does your practice needs to look like so it becomes effective in, improving and developing in that direction? So there are a lot of questions to be asked and then answered and clarified before you actually can get that clarity that you got for the Greatest Dancer show. But that's sort of a one part, the vision and clarity that sort of drives you or pulls you forward. Then is another important part is your confidence or your lack of confidence, your mental strength or your mental weakness. Because even if you have that first part ready, you know exactly what you want to do, what dancer you want to become, what do you want to bring, what style you want to create, what performance, what magic are you going to bring to the stage. Still, if you have that lack of confidence, if you don't have that mental strength, you'll be stopped, you'll be slowed down, you'll be sort of dragging, and every time you need to take a step forward, go out of your comfort zone, just basically, get to another level, you'll be hesitating, you'll be stopping, you'll be pulling back. So is that also your experience?
Yeah. It's really hard because this is my biggest problem. I'm not very confident person. I always think I can do things better. I always think I'm not good enough. I always see people better than me. And Michal is that good person which always tells me, no, you're good enough, you're better than everyone. And even if it's not true, because sometimes it's not, but in my mind, if he...
Even now, she's like...
Yeah, because I'm really bad at this, and I know that, and I know I need to fight with that. I remember like one time my dad, he put me in front of the mirror and he said, now look into your eyes and say that you're the best dancer in the world. And I just freezed. I couldn't even say a word. And my dad said, it's easy, just look at yourself and tell this. And I'm like, no, I can't say this. And this is my biggest problem. And I think that Michal is this part of me which brings me up all the time. So this is good.
Because I'm always believing, no matter what, I'm always believing that we can achieve everything what we want. Life is one and we can do whatever we want. Why not? What is in front of us that we can do it?
And also
we can dance, we are healthy, go for it.
If you see other people doing this, so it's possible. So you can do the same. It's not that it's impossible to do. If somebody did this before you, you can do it. They did.
Yes. So, Jowita, two things. First thing is just see how far did you get with, even though maybe you haven't achieved that full confidence yet? That's the first thing. It's like you are doing amazingly. And the second thing is like, we obviously still have a work to do, and imagine what will be possible for you in the future when you'll get to that higher level of confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah, we have still a lot of goals in front of us. So yeah, we have to still work with you on our another
I
levels.
need to work on myself still, because he's really like, right now I think Michael got this vibe that he can do everything, like if it's not possible he will do it, like he doesn't know how but he will do it. I still have this but you know, like the brain is talking to you, no but maybe not, you know,
No.
so yeah, but I have Michael with me, so he's this, you know, he's this push for me. But yeah, I need to work a lot about my confidence. It's every day.
Yeah. So one quick thing. There is a misunderstanding about the confidence amongst dancers and in general. So confidence is not something really you get born with, or confidence is not something that once you got it, you've got it forever. Confidence is basically your state, how you are feeling, what are your thoughts, what are your body sensations at present time. And that can change because of different things. So, for example, you can be confident, I don't know, going and performing in your local competition where you are the best, right? And then next day you go to nationals and you're not confident anymore. Where is all that confidence you had yesterday, right? Or maybe you were not confident and then you got acknowledged by winning something, and it's like suddenly, wow, your confidence goes, you know, up the roof, and it's like, what happened? So this is always fluctuating. It's like up and down, and the skill that I believe every dancer needs to learn is how to control that. How to control that, not let your negative thoughts or challenges pull you down, but just keep it at the good level, and whenever you need it, like a performance, live show, competition, how to boost it so you can bring your best to the dance floor and to the stage. So that's the first thing to understand. And then another one is that, obviously, like you said, Jowita, the confidence level that you have currently was obviously enough to win that show, right? Like to get the title, to become the greatest dancer, right? Like your dad used to tell you, look in the mirror and say, I'm the greatest dancer. Now, you won that title, right? Fair and square. So you can actually start calling yourself the greatest dancer. However, the mind always, it's like blah, 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 blah. And obviously it comes with you, with that perfectionism, right? Like many dancers are perfectionists. You know, when I was dancing, I was exactly the same. And even though I'm not active dancer anymore, with whatever I do right now, with coaching and teaching dancers, I'm perfectionist as well. But we cannot allow this perfectionist to become self-destructive. We have to use it to be a positive driver forward, to strive for excellence, to strive for becoming the greatest dancer you can ever be, right? And obviously there are other levels for you. So basically, to sum up what I was just saying right now, is, you know, I would like all dancers, and including you, to understand that confidence is, if you want to improve, also confidence is something that needs to keep improving as well. Yeah, it's not like you arrived, you got it, and you're done. It's like never-ending process of, you know, becoming a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
It's even
And
like,
we had the same, sorry, because when we were doing the Greatest Dancer, every live episode was different. Every live show was like stressful, and the brain was telling you, oh, okay, today is not fun anymore because we're more far in the competition. I'm like,
every week harder and
no,
harder.
it's gonna be fun. No, now he's going to the semi-final. Now joke's over. No,
We had one situation when we were performing disco, and on the day of the show, nothing was working. Everything was
And we
wrong.
had like 8 or maybe 10 very difficult tricks.
Yeah, and
Which-
all of them like completely wrong. Nothing
and
was
that was
working.
funny situation because was not in our body that we couldn't do it, was in our mind. This night I really understood the power of the mind.
Yeah.
Because guys, really on the rehearsal nothing was
Nothing.
working. And we are in the studio Thursday, which is 3 days before live. So Thursday, nothing. Friday, I was trying to understand my mind, and I was like, Michael, don't worry, tomorrow is the better day, gonna be better. Was better, but still, we couldn't do the whole choreography in the studio. Saturday, I was like, this is the final day. We have morning rehearsal, and in the evening we have live. So if I'm not gonna catch Jowita, or I'm gonna like mistake with something, so all she gonna be injured, or
We're
there's
gonna
no-
compromise ourselves in front of like millions of people.
But I really sat with Jowita and
yeah,
I
but
was
in
like,
the beginning, in the morning, nothing was working.
Nothing.
Zero. Like it was even worse than Thursday.
we cried.
We
said
sat
like-
down, we cried, and then
we said, alright.
alright, all this negativity went down, we cried, okay, that's
And
it.
I was keeping repeating to my mind, be positive, think positive, this is easy, this is nothing. Of course it was not easy, but I tried to
Convince
convince
ourselves,
my
yeah.
mind that it's
You-
alright,
we
you,
were like,
you
you-
know how to do it,
Yes.
so just do it. And guys, doing the live, everything was perfect. First time everything was perfect.
But also because it wasn't perfect, like we missed one hand, but it's fine.
It was perfect.
It's fine. The thing is that when we were dancing, and this is very funny, but I had in myself the thought like, oh, now this gonna be like, I'm gonna fly so high. Oh, and now I'm gonna do so fast the spin. And this is maybe stupid for
Imagination as
somebody.
well, yeah.
Maybe this is very stupid but for somebody, but every time before, and now I realized that when we were rehearsing and everything was wrong, because in my mind was like, oh my god, now this trick, oh god, now this one, and I was programming myself that okay, this is gonna be bad because you think it's gonna be bad. And then on the show, because I was like, woo, now this one, woo, I'll be so good in this one, and
Yeah.
everything worked.
Me too, the same.
And we were like, I don't know how we did this, but then I realized, like when we went back home and we talked about the evening, and Michael said, yeah, because I knew I'm gonna do it, and I was like, yeah, me too. Like I really knew we're gonna do it.
And I remember always, this is true that I had the Hubert's words in my head when I had these moments about like, oh, that something can be wrong. That Hubert, you did even the video about this, that the biggest mistake of the dancers is the thinking.
Yeah.
That was the video called The Best Advice for Dancers from Michael Jackson. Yes, so everybody knows what we're talking about. Michael Jackson said that the biggest mistake of dancers is thinking. And I'm not gonna go deeper into that. You can search for that video on YouTube, yeah?
Exactly, come back to this video because
Yeah,
this
it's-
video also
it's-
helped
we-
us
yeah.
to
It's really
to be
important.
successful
Yeah,
in this
it's really
competition.
important. Like even many times, like because okay, Michael dropped me on the rehearsal many times. I was laying on the floor, and the production they were asking me, "Oh, are you scared right now to do this trick?" And I was like, "No, if I will be scared, I will never do it. Like I need to be confident, and I need to say, okay, it happened, right?"
Right.
At least I know if I'm gonna land like that, what I need to do to stand up. So it's fine, everything is important. But I knew that it will never happen again. I know that he will never drop me again.
And in this case, production is not helping you because this is the TV. This is the biggest TV in
And
UK.
they want
and they
the
want
drama.
this, they want all right, Jowita.
They want the meat, right?
Exactly.
They were asking, are you hurt? Are you fine? And
When we were doing
I'm
rehearsal
completely
and
fine.
I was telling to Jowita, okay, try this difficult trick. So they were straight away with the cameras
camera.
waiting
Yes.
to have this extra value meat, which is
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
fine because
Of
this
course,
is
it's,
TV.
But
But in our mind was we have to be
Yeah.
focused even more to be over them.
yeah.
Yes, I mean, of course, if they show just before the live show, they show the footage that you kept falling and falling and falling, and then you dancing live, everybody's sitting like that at home, like, will she fall, will she fall? Of course, it's creating that build-up. We understand that, but it made so much more difficult for you, right? Because, you not only had to overcome that negative self-talk, like you had to really shut it down and override that with positive talk, but then you had others talking to you, right? So that was double difficult, yeah.
And
Yeah.
every time before our performance, we had this short video about the preparation. And the last 2-3 weeks, there was something or I was crying, or I don't know, Michael dropped me, or something didn't work, or Oti was saying, if this will not work, we can go out of the competition.
Or this can destroy our performance.
This can destroy.
And always we were closing our ears, and
Yeah.
Oti, even our mentor and dance captain, she was like, don't listen the
Don't
video.
watch it, don't
watch
listen.
it, because this can also be with you doing your performance. So
Yeah.
don't think about this. Think about positive stuff. So
literally we were on stage, the video was going, everyone was watching like that, and me and Michael, we were like na 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 na, ooh, singing songs, hugging each other, giving this positive vibe, just to not even look at the screen, to not get distracted, and we did it.
and we won.
Yes.
Yes. So what you just said is just, to someone watching, so they can get more specifics and more value. Basically, you already know that what you think creates your dancing, your movement, your posture, your facial expression, the energy you're bringing to the stage. It's coming from within, not from outside. However, what is very important is to be able to block out all the external things that not going right, because then that comes in and then that comes out in your performance, right? It's like this feedback loop. That's why many dancers, they are just asking themselves that very important question: why is it happening to me again and again, right? Because the results that you have, you keep taking this in, and that becomes the seed of the next performance. And you just keep repeating the same things. So you did something very important. You were able to block out everything that didn't go right, and sort of go beyond the challenges that were coming your way, and then create in your mind the image, to program your mind with the performance that you want, despite anything that was going around. Yes. So now, having that experience and, having that very, very interesting dance journey, you were talking about your competition years and being frustrated and disappointed, not having the results, and then being on the ship where you had a very different experience on stage and also some challenges, and also time and space to think and go deeper into what dancing and performance really is about. How much of that is in your now experience and your belief physical, and how much is that mental part?
I will say even that mental part is more important than the physical, because We've been training since we were like 7 or like really. So we are all very good dancers. We've been never working about our mind and about our confidence and about everything which is here. So I think is the dancing is in the body. No matter how good you are, of course, if we're talking about, like you said, professional, everyone is great dancer.
Yeah.
But what is different? What the difference between the winners and people which are not successful? I think is this. So I will say that
The first thing is, if you're not good in your mind, your body will never be good enough, because you will be stiff, you will be scared, your body will not react, the information will not flow properly, and we understood that after.
and we're still working on this, because it's not that we already have everything and we're the world champions. Because we can see the result.
You are not the world champions, you're just the greatest dancers.
But no, it's very important, because we realize and we see from ourselves.
When I'm nervous on
Yeah.
the stage, I'm getting stiff. When I'm getting stiff, I'm not leading Jowita in good direction.
Yeah.
When I'm not leading Jowita in good direction, the whole picture of the couple
Yeah.
looks bad. Then the tricks which we can do are not happening,
Yeah.
and everything looks completely opposite.
And even if something is happening which like is not expected, if you're like calm and you actually got everything properly, like your mind, your body, you can get out of the situation very easy. If you stress, if you're like not good with your mind, you don't know what to do. You freeze and you're like a cat in the water, like what I'm gonna do now.
You told me before that when we were talking about your performance in The Greatest Dancer, you were telling me about the reaction and behavior of other dancers. So can you tell me more about that? Like you said, while you were able to, finally stay calm and focus and positive, even though, like you said, it was a different leading to that moment, but you were always to pull that state and bring that state when you needed. The showtime, you were always able to bring it. But then you were telling me about other dancers, which obviously are really good dancers, that they were having difficulties and challenges with staying calm. Can you sort of tell us more about that, what was going on behind the scenes?
So because of course we've got a lot of teenagers or kids in the show, and they were like, one girl, she was amazing dancer, like she is amazing dancer. She can do things that I will never be even able to imagine in my mind.
So brilliant.
And yes, but she has this thing that she just doesn't believe in herself, and she goes, and every time she went on stage, she went back and she was crying.
And she was shaking before the performance.
Yeah, every time she got that much negativity in her body. And even though on the rehearsal she was perfect, then on the show it wasn't that great, and it's just because she was so nervous, and like I think she didn't believe in herself, that actually she's so good. And we were telling her every time, like, you've got this, you're brilliant, you will go on stage, just enjoy, don't even think. If something will go wrong, don't, like, people don't see these things, they don't know, they watch it once. Like, you performing it like thousands of times, so you know what you're doing, but they watching you once.
You have only one chance.
One chance. So just enjoy. If something is wrong, don't show it, just go.
Yeah,
like,
but
don't
for her
focus.
was not possible. We were trying to explain her, but you will not explain, you have to work on it. So yeah.
That was the first example. Then the second, like the another contestants, they were, we're gonna leave tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna go home tonight for sure. That's the worst thing
I'm
you
like,
can
why
ever.
you saying that you wanna be in the competition or you don't want?
You wanna-
Yeah, we want, but it's so hard
So
here.
tell yourself that you're gonna go. You're gonna be in the next week because the next week routine is the best. You want to perform that routine and you'll do it. And the atmosphere backstage, like everyone is like, oh, I wasn't so good tonight. Oh, I mistake this one. Oh, I feel so scared. Oh, I have stomach ache. And all those information is just going to you, and you feel that in yourself as well. We felt the fear, we felt the stress.
Yeah, even if you want to be positive and you want to give the best of the best, yes, but you feel the energy going around, that someone is really nervous, someone is really scared, someone is like completely don't know what to do. You feel it. So now is your
Mental strength comes to play.
exactly.
So then, like us, we were, for example, going on the side, out of the circle. We were shaking off everything, like, okay, let's get rid of this bad energy.
You were using that technique, very
We were
good.
shaking off everything, literally, and then there was like a nice song, so we were just, jamming to the song, whatever, like, if somebody will look at me, they will say, oh my gosh, she's a dancer, she's so terrible. But you just need to get in that zone when you feel like I'm good with myself, I feel with myself. And then the most important thing, when we were performing already, people, they were like upstairs watching another performances, and they were like, oh my god, he was so good, now I'm gonna be worse, and like I can't do it after them, and this is the worst thing you can do. Like, no, you're also good, you're also great. This is their stuff, they're great, but you're also great. So go and show why you're
if
here.
we would be thinking and watching another performances, we would be like,
But we watched them, but we
watched them,
cheered
but
them.
with
We were like,
different
oh,
minds.
come on, we were dancing with them. So it was completely different than watching them like, oh my god, now me, what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
This is the worst thing. But people are, and everyone in the room was like that.
That's why we won, not them.
Yes, exactly. That's why you won. Correct. And you said clearly many times there were dancers that were even more skilled with their bodies, like they could do things that you were not able to do or you're not able to do now, but you still won because of that mindset. And just going back to that girl you were talking about, you see, when you said that when there was a rehearsal, she was coming in, and when there was no pressure of the live show, she was able to perform brilliantly, right? So it was in her body, she could do it. But then when the pressure of the live show came, the mind wasn't at that level, and that pulled her down. So then she was probably making mistakes or getting stiff, the quality wasn't the same, right? So she already got enough technique, enough dance skills. She needs the upgrade from a mindset. Yes. So that's one thing I just want to, sort of point out. And I see that, all the time and everywhere. Dancers that are really technically very good and they stay behind with mindset, they think that the best strategy and way to go about it is just keep pushing with technique, get better and better. But that's not gonna work, because your lack of confidence and your weak mindset, it's always gonna pull you down. You will always feel, I didn't show what I've got. I didn't dance at my full capacity or potential. It's always gonna lag behind. The only way out is to bring your mindset so it does match your technical skills. And most dancers, I also see what they thinking is, yeah, I'll work on my mindset, but later, let me just get better technically. That's a trap. That's a trap you have to avoid. And also another thing that I want to point out, which I think will be valuable for dancers. Like, I get invited to those big dance camps and big camps and workshops just before the championship. So it's like 1 week to Polish championship. Who's going there to help dancers? Hubert. 1 week before Lithuanian championship, I'm, packing my suitcase and flying there. 1 week before Estonian championship, guess who's going there? Boom. But you know what? it's like, that's too late. Well, that's better than nothing. Dancers still could benefit from what I was doing and teaching them, but that's kind of too late. It's like, when you have an important exam and you start sort of learning a few days before, that's kind of late, right? So the advice I want to give to dancers, when you are already just very close to that performance, show, audition, when the stress kicks in, it's too late. Because stress is basically a very strong biological mechanism which is built in, and it's related to our survival mechanism. And I mean, you have to be a really mind master to be able to overcome. You need to prepare yourself and sort of overcome that mechanism and be prepared to overcome those reactions way ahead. That's the only way you can actually win with that, negative self-talk. When you just go to the performance and hope you're gonna stay calm, it's not gonna work. Because two most stressful things for people, for human beings, I'm not talking even about dancers, two most stressful things for human beings is, one, public performance, and that's everywhere, everyone. Whether you do a keynote speech or you dance on show, on stage, that's stressful, very stressful. And the second one is being judged by other people. And guess what? What dancers are doing every weekend or every other weekend? They go to competition and audition when they perform in front of the audience and they get judged. Like, even if it's not a competition, even if you perform in the theater, people will still talk about you, or they will still evaluate your show. So in a way, they're judging. So, if you're a dancer watching this, and if you get nervous and scared, it means your natural biological mechanism works properly. It's nothing wrong with you. Because many dancers think it's like, oh my God, something wrong with me. No, nothing is wrong with you. But you have chosen to become a dancer and you have chosen to perform on stage and very often get judged by other people. What you need to do is you need to do some mindset work and overcome that mechanism. You need to train your brain and your mind. This is not a lion chasing me. This is just a dance show where I'm doing rumba or waltz or cha-cha or whatever. This is a different situation. If you will not train your mind and your brain, that mechanism will certainly kick in. I guarantee that.
This is what we had, because in the studio was over 2,000 people. We were judging because the dance capitan were sitting, so another factor, and in front of the TV, because this was national TV, BBC One, 7 million people who were watching us. So imagine our situation before our live episode. We were like so stressed, but because of the technique which we're using from you, we were like able to do it, and we
were
great.
able to stop that negative stress, because of course you get that a bit like of it's not stress, it's like a positive, like kick out. So you feel you're ready, you're going on stage, but you need to make it positive. You can't be negative. If you're negative about something, it will be negative.
It's gonna happen, yeah.
Yes, this is another really important thing that you're just sharing, because I think for some dancers, listening, it can be quite confusing. Like, okay, so on one hand, you are saying that you did a lot of this mental work and you are able to overcome your stress and emotions. And then you are saying that when you were going on stage, you were not stressed at all. But then you are saying you felt all of these emotions. So let me just explain, because
like you said, this is the natural reaction.
But let me also explain the phenomenon, because it took me really a while to figure it out. Why is this happening? Because to this day, I sometimes go to lead a workshop and I'm like completely relaxed, like chill out totally. And then I go, in front of the group, and then suddenly it's like I feel this energy, and it's like, come on, where is it coming from? But you know what? I realized that we as human beings, and especially as dancers, artists, performer, when we tend to be more sensitive and empathetic, we feel that energy from others. So I can tell you exactly what was happening with you, and what I was actually experiencing during the workshop is I was coming into the room and I felt the tension of the dancers, because some of the dancers, maybe they participating in the workshop first time, they don't know what's gonna happen, what, you know, strange or weird exercises I'm gonna do. And you've been participating in the workshops, you know those exercises are very, very different, not the usual stuff that dancers get used to it. So what is happening with us and what was happening with you, and I just want you to become aware of that so you can start going to the next level and recognizing, is that my energy? Are those my thoughts, or I'm picking up from the environment? Because I bet that's what was happening during that shows. Like you said, everybody was really freaking out, nervous and talking, oh, I'm gonna be out. And this is the energy you have been picking. And because you are artists, you are dancers, you are very empathetic, and you have that energy channel open, because when you go on stage, you share your energy with others. You share that energy with the audience, and people could see it, people could feel it. But that channel sort of works both ways. You can also pick up other people's energy. So I think that clarifies that for anyone watching and like thinking, okay, so what's going on? Are they able to overcome their stress and emotions or not? Like, what's going on? So now I think this is really clear to everybody. So, I mean, you gave so many inspirational informations, and you know, I'm really glad and I really appreciate and I'm grateful that you share so many things from your experience. And especially at this time when many dancers are probably sitting at home with the coronavirus, that might be really a big inspiration and hopefully a turning point for them in their dance career. Maybe they start also researching, how can I improve my confidence? How can I start overcoming those emotions? How can I deal with stress ahead of time and prepare myself? So to finish off nicely, what would be your sort of last message and last piece of advice to dancers out there listening to this interview?
I will always say believe, and
believe.
if you can dream, you can do it. So dream it, believe it, and go for it.
And also, I think the only person who can stop you is you. So there's no like boundaries. There's nothing which can stop you. It's only you. So just believe and have a goal and have a dream.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Michal and Jowita, the winners of the greatest dancer in UK. Thank you so much, and I see you around.
Yes,
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Jowita! Guys, you are the greatest dancers. Can you believe it?